We obviously are excited because we just got a new house. So we want to kind of start moving things in and go in there. We don't want to leave it to the last day to get in, but yeah, so a lot of fun things going on. So here, yeah, we go for this. I think at my strongest, I was doing 150, 160. And I think while I was au natural, I was doing sets of because of Melissa. I'm pretty clean because she keeps it clean. I obviously want to I don't want to be the one fucking that up. I'm I gotta stay on par here. But she's definitely
They call him the Canadian Weapon, a mass monster who stood toe-to-toe with giants on the Olympia stage year after year. Iain Valliere built a physique that commanded respect, won 5 professional titles, and became one of the most transparent voices in bodybuilding. Are you enjoying this documentary about Iain Valliere? Then help the channel with your subscription. Look, 94.8% of people who watch these videos still aren't subscribed to the channel. If you're part of that group, take the opportunity and subscribe now. It's free, and you'll keep receiving incredible documentaries of legendary bodybuilders who shaped the sport. Oh, and don't forget, at the end of this video, you'll find more stories like this one. Yet, on September 7th, 2023, at just 32 years old, with an Olympia qualification in hand and a decade of professional competition behind him, he walked away. The question that haunted him wasn't whether he could compete at the highest level anymore. It was simpler, more profound, and ultimately more difficult to answer. Did he still want to? This is not a story about failure. This is a story about a man who learned the hardest lesson in sport, knowing when enough is enough. Ottawa, Canada, November 27th, 1990. A boy is born who will grow faster and stronger than his peers. Young Iain runs track and field with natural athleticism, dabbles in football during high school, but quickly realizes team sports don't suit him. He craves total control over his destiny, a trait that will define everything that follows. At 19, working at a local supplement store, colleagues suggest he enter a local bodybuilding competition just months away. He places first in the junior division and third in open heavyweight at the 2010 OPA Ottawa Championships. The Iron speaks a language his body understands fluently. What begins as curiosity transforms into obsession. His mother becomes his greatest supporter, doing everything in her power to help him achieve his goals. Unlike many young athletes who stumble into their sport, Iain approaches bodybuilding with methodical precision from the beginning, studying at Algonquin College, where he earns a degree in fitness and health promotion between 2008 and 2010. He is building not just muscle, but knowledge. The ascent is deliberate but unrelenting. By 2014, at 23, Valliere earns his IFBB Pro card. His first professional show comes in 2015 at the Toronto Pro Super Show, where he places 5th. The losses don't discourage him, they fuel him. He competes again and again, refining his physique, learning from every stage appearance. In 2018, he qualifies for his first Mr. Olympia, finishing 14th among the world's best. Most would celebrate simply making it to bodybuilding's Super Bowl. Valliere sees only room for improvement. His training philosophy becomes legendary among peers. He lifts heavy, prioritizing progressive overload, and keeping his approach simple but brutally consistent. He trains with his brother-in-law Chris Bumstead, the classic physique Olympia champion, and actually introduces Chris to competitive bodybuilding. The two push each other relentlessly, but there's a price being paid in silence. Maintaining motivation becomes his greatest challenge. Training whether he wants to or not. Eating those meals whether he's hungry or not. The consistency that builds champions also grinds them down. I think the most difficult thing to master in bodybuilding is maintaining motivation, he confesses in an early interview. All year, every day, training whether you want to or not, or eating those meals whether you're hungry or not. The machine is being built, but the man inside is disappearing meal by meal, rep by rep. Then comes 2012. At a local fitness convention in Ottawa, legendary arm wrestler Devin Larratt is raising money for a children's hospital, taking on all challengers. Valliere, confident in his strength, steps up. He is approximately the 35th person Larratt faces that day. The crack sounds like a gunshot, an explosion. Valliere's arm snaps with a spiral fracture running the length of his humerus. His immediate thoughts are catastrophic. His bodybuilding career is over. His arm will never look or feel the same. The surgeon tells him 10 to 12 weeks minimum recovery, but at 6 weeks post-surgery, x-rays show the bone well fused. He returns to the gym doing light work on machines. 3 months later, his arm size returns to normal. The physical recovery is complete. The psychological lesson lingers. Even the strongest can break. The breakthrough comes in 2020. Valliere wins the New York Pro, his first professional victory and direct qualification to the 2020 Mr. Olympia. The win is controversial. Critics argue other competitors showed better conditioning. It's tough to wake up after a win that should be the highlight of my bodybuilding career to so much negativity in the comments about the show, he writes on Instagram, revealing the emotional toll of competing under constant public scrutiny. But he ignores the noise and shows up at the Olympia, placing 7th. It's his best finish yet. He repeats that 7th place finish in 2021, winning the Tampa Pro and Texas Pro that year, and taking runner-up at the Arnold Classic behind Nick Walker. He is consistently elite. His marriage to Melissa Bumstead, herself an IFBB figure pro and Chris's sister, provides stability. They understand each other's worlds completely. The victories accumulate. 2022 Vancouver Pro Champion. 2023 Toronto Pro Super Show winner. 5 professional titles in total. He qualifies for the 2023 Olympia. The machine is operating at peak efficiency. But something fundamental shifts. Somewhere between the meal prep and the cardio sessions, between the weight cuts and the stage lights, Iain Valliere loses the fire. He doesn't lose his ability. His physique is still world class. He doesn't lose his knowledge or work ethic. He loses something more essential: desire. This wasn't a decision that came quickly, he reveals in his retirement video. This is something that's been on the back of my mind for well over a year. He begins getting older, entering his 30s. He and Melissa want children. The health risks of competing at elite levels become harder to justify when weighed against future fatherhood. I started to get older into my 30s, and Melissa and I are at the phase where we want to have kids. The thought of the risks that I was putting myself in when you're also pairing that with maybe a lack of desire and passion for actually competing. Then comes the moment of clarity. He's qualified for the 2023 Olympia, 10 weeks out from bodybuilding's biggest weekend, and he feels nothing. Competing at this year's Olympia didn't make me excited anymore. His body doesn't want to do this anymore because his mind doesn't want to do it anymore. He texts Chris Bumstead for advice. Chris later reveals, "I could just tell in his heart that he was done." On September 7th, 2023, Iain Valliere announces his retirement from competitive bodybuilding. He is 32 years old. He has competed professionally for a decade. Started competing at 18, performed in nearly 30 bodybuilding shows. His best Olympia placement was 7th in 2020 and 2021, but he fell to 11th in 2022, hearing criticism about his back and posing. He could continue. He could push for one more year, one more show, but he chooses differently. "I never want to get pushed out of bodybuilding because of a health complication," he explains. He wants to leave on his terms, with his health intact, at a young enough age to enjoy life beyond the stage. Chris Bumstead calls it courageous. He didn't have the best genetics, but he worked really fucking hard, and he seems at peace with his decision. Jeez, a strong case could be made that Valliere is Canada's greatest men's open bodybuilder of all time. The bodybuilding community celebrates his career with overwhelming positivity. Today, Iain Valliere trains not because he must, but because he wants to. He co-hosts the Real Bodybuilding podcast, continues creating content on YouTube beyond just diet and training, and explores the possibility of judging competitions. He spends time with his wife, his dogs, experiences vacations without bodybuilding dictating every decision. He can run comfortably now, move athletically, exist in a body that isn't perpetually preparing for judgment. He recently faced Devin Larratt, again in arm wrestling, this time playfully posting, "I almost had him, I swear," on Instagram. The photo shows not fear, but friendship. The man who once broke his arm against Larratt can laugh about it now. He has returned to track and field casually, the sport of his youth, moving without the crushing weight of competitive expectation. When does pursuing perfection become a prison? Iain Valliere spent 15 years chasing an ever-moving target, building himself into something extraordinary while slowly losing pieces of who he was before the weights. He achieved what most never will: professional status, Olympia qualifications, respect from peers, 5 professional victories. He could have kept going, kept pushing, kept sacrificing until his body or mind finally broke completely. Instead, he chose something harder than another competition prep. Are you enjoying this documentary about Iain Valliere? Then help the channel with your subscription. Look, 94.8% of people who watch these videos still aren't subscribed to the channel. If you're part of that group, take the opportunity and subscribe now. It's free, and you'll keep receiving incredible documentaries of legendary bodybuilders who shaped the sport. Oh, and don't forget, at the end of the video, you'll find more stories like this one. He chose to walk away while he still could. My body just didn't want to be doing this anymore because my mind didn't want to be doing it anymore. In a sport that measures success in trophies and placements, Valliere found victory in something unmeasurable: the courage to say enough. The weights are still there, the gym still calls. But the prison door stands open, and the man who spent years perfecting his body has finally given himself permission to be imperfect. That, more than any seventh place Olympia finish, is freedom.